Hi, I'm John. This is my show, An American Scheme, where I'm proving that Diana Ross is Michael Jackson's actual mother. So, a movie that I have mentioned a lot of times, but I don't think anybody really has watched it, or people don't understand how actually important it is that it's there, is a movie called Double Platinum. It's a Diana Ross movie that she starred in. She also was an executive producer on that film. It's not a movie that was in the movie theaters. It was a made-for-TV movie. So it's a lower budget type of thing. It wasn't a big deal, but she's in it, so it gives it credibility just because she is a big star. It was released in 1999, and it was also the last film that she ever did. So those are just some basic rough drafts about that movie, Double Platinum. And there's more information to go looking into and stuff, but the basic storyline of that movie is that Diana Ross she's married and she has a baby, and the baby's 1 or 2 years old. It's a baby. It's a young baby. Then she gets an opportunity to become a star. But in order for her to go, she has to, in the way the movie plays it, is that she abandons her baby and the father and her husband. She doesn't make an arrangement because he's telling her that she can't go. So I think that's why they made it that way. So she abandons them and she goes, and then she becomes a big star, but then she stays gone until the kid becomes teenage years, I think 18 or something like that, until later. So then Diana Ross comes back and finds the kid, and then Diana Ross the kid has talent as a singer, so Diana Ross then helps that kid become a star. Okay, so what I'm saying is this is the story of Double Platinum is basically parallels the story of what I'm saying, what she did with Michael Jackson and her true story. And I think that's why she did that as her last film, but it was a made-for-TV. She wasn't making a big deal about it, but it was one of these things that she wanted to document through history. She wanted to have that movie there with that storyline, okay? Because it follows the storyline of her true events. So what I'm going to show you here is just 3. There's a whole lot of stuff in that movie, but it's one of those things that's just too much to show you everything. So I went ahead and pulled up 3 parts of it, and I'm going to show you in relation to her other true life story how the movie and her true life story is parallel. There's parallels, and it's interesting parallels. Okay, so first here I'm going to show you, this is Diana Ross' interview with Arsenio Hall when she's speaking about who her first real love was, and she's speaking about Smokey Robinson. Okay, so listen to this.
But who was your first love, though? Yeah, who was that?
You mean,
that first guy you kissed?
Man, are you talking about man love?
Oh, yeah, I should have specified that. I'm sorry.
Smokey Robinson was my first love. I really loved him. I have stories. People think my life or my career started with Motown, but really it started with Smokey. Smokey lived on Belmont. We lived on the same street. Mm-hmm. I was very close with his cousin, Sharon Burston. Mm-hmm. And I used to sleep over. You know how kids have sleepovers at Sharon's house. And I used to listen to the Miracles sing in the basement. And that was before I came to Motown. That was before the Supremes.
Okay, so they lived on the same street on Belmont in the Brewster Douglas housing projects in Detroit. They lived on the same street, and not only does she's also good friends with Smokey. They've known each other the whole time, but what she's saying is she's also best friends with Smokey's cousin, Sharon. Okay, and because of that relationship, she's actually sleeping in the house where Smokey then is practicing in the basement with the Miracles. They're actually down there in the basement. And I think that part there, the key part of how, so she's saying here, her key thing is that right there, her first love, and she refers it back to hearing Smokey, and where does she put him? In the basement, okay? Now I'm going to show you in the movie. Okay, now this is the Double Platinum where this is the girl Brandy who was playing her child, her lost child, and she says, well, how did you meet my dad? Okay, so now listen to this part in the movie.
All right, well, tell me how you met my dad. Okay, well, we met in a little club. You did not meet my dad in a club. My dad didn't go to clubs. used to go to clubs. I met your dad in a tiny little club in a basement, and he was playing in a band, playing saxophone. My dad was in a band? No. Your dad was the most gorgeous man I had ever met.
So, my dad's rambling, so we're gonna have one of these videos now, because once it starts, I can't. I tried to. Hopefully, it was going, but so I don't know how this video is gonna go. But I'm gonna play it out. So, see, and this is one of those things in the old days. So I would have gotten into the video, right, and then boom, that ruined. Totally ruined. And I had done that. That's what you people don't know. I was dealing with a lot of that before. Up to the point where I was like, where it was like. It was happening so often. That's where I was like saying, I can't do this no more. I don't know. I can't keep making these videos and getting interrupted and having them ruined and stuff. It was really bad. And so, but anyway, so now we just like, whatever. That's just the way it is. But see, now I've lost my train of thought, and because I was trying to stop him. But then he kept going, and it was just like, whatever. And so now he's quiet again. See, it's just weird. Okay. So, but what she was saying there was that she, when she met him, he was in a club playing in the basement, okay? And isn't that weird how the way that she's in a club, but the way that she says the basement, and I think that she inserted that key word to link it up to the reality of the truth of Smokey in the basement, That's what I'm saying about that. That little link right there, man. And how when she's saying, oh, he was the most beautiful man, and he's in a band, And that's real connections. That's real serious how they're linking this. And this is like subtlety things that she was able to insert, because what she's doing with the script is she's saying, well, once in a while I'll just do my little freestyle thing, because it makes it more genuine, And then so that's how she plays on the script. She uses the script, but then she inserts little things here and there, and because she is a executive producer, there's nobody there telling her, you can't do that, you got to follow the script. She's Diana Ross. This is, that's not so. That's what I'm saying. There's these little subtlety things that were inserted. Like, I think right there, if you looked at the original script, the lady's name is Nina Shingold, I believe her name is. She's the lady who wrote the script for this. Now, I would believe that if you look through the script, the original script, and if I spoke to this woman, I would be able to speak to her, and I would say, now Diana Ross changed this, right? And I would say, see this right here? Diana Ross changed this, right? Or inserted this. And I would be able to go through this movie with the writer, and then she would be able to validate what I'm saying. She would be saying, you're right. Diana Ross did insert, you're right. Diana Ross changed that name. She did do that. And you would see, and then I could get her, but I had written her before in the past, but I've never gotten any responses. But I did try to make contact with her before, because I was going to try and do that, but like I said, these people, nobody talks to me and stuff, But so anyway, so then the next thing here is the iconic Motown 25 Billie Jean. And now, when you think about this, it's really like the jacket over all of the stuff, because when I've seen Michael perform Billie Jean in different things with different shirts, and it would be similar outfit, but the jacket. The Billie Jean jacket, that's the Billie Jean jacket. Now, I'm not going to get into the story of where it comes from and all this stuff, but just the simple thing, okay, that is the Billie Jean jacket, okay? And it's the jacket from the Motown 25. Okay, it's not the jacket from the video Billie Jean, because that would be a different thing, right? This is the Billie Jean jacket from the Motown 25, okay? Mm-hmm. So this is obviously, that's what that jacket is. And so in the movie, when this is... the first, Diana Ross is walking on the first photo shoot that the character Brandy, I'm saying that's her kid, and that's her lost kid that she's now turning into a star. So this is the first photo shoot that she walks in on her, and watch it what she's wearing. And this is what she says here. The first thing that she says.
What is this?
See the first thing, what is this? So she highlights the first thing with her words, what is this? Talking about the dress, okay? So this whole conversation is about that dress.
This is the start of some serious image building.
I'm looking for something a little more girl next door, a little sweeter, nicer. Olivia, I like it.
Okay, so there you can get a good shot. That dress is exactly identical. If you were gonna say like, okay, I want a dress that looks like the jacket from the Motown 25 Billie Jean, okay? Doesn't that dress kind of fit it identically? Couldn't she have worn any other dress any other thing in the world that would not have fit identically. What I'm saying is because Diana Ross is Billie Jean, the connection where Michael's saying that, the significance of that. So I'm saying that she directly, when she put her in that dress, that links her back to that Motown 25 Billie Jean performance, because that dress is like, it's identical to the jacket, you know, and she's putting her in it. That's what I'm saying. There's subtle things like that in this movie too, and there's blatant hardcore stuff that I'm not even getting into. I'm just going to show you some of these subtle things that are really in here that are like, this is weird. The stuff, and that's what I'm saying. There's the hardcore stuff that you won't miss, and that's why I'm showing you this stuff, because this stuff is a little bit more of the subtle stuff that's a little easier to miss and stuff like this. So now this is going to be a recording Michael Jackson talking about when they actually came to Motown, they did that first actual audition. And when there's a lot of things too where he says they did an audition for Berry Gordy, and the story says that people say that Berry Gordy was there, but he's not. I've proven that Berry Gordy was not there. That when he says that, it's because they're recording an audition for Berry Gordy. But actually, who is there is this.
So we decided to do a little audition. We auditioned for Berry Gordy in Detroit. And here we are singing, and all the Motown stars were there. Diana Ross, Temptations, Smokey Robinson. And we're singing, and all these people are watching us. And we did our whole show, and they loved it. They really raved over it. And Diana Ross came over to us, and she said especially, I loved what I saw. And she said she wanted to take special interest in our career.
Okay, I love what I saw. She said she wanted to take special interest in our career. So when the Jacksons go to Motown and do that audition for Berry Gordy's not there. They're recording it. But who's actually there is Diana Ross is actually there. She walks over to Michael and says, I love what I saw. I'm going to take personal special interest in your career. It's her. She was right there. There's no Berry Gordy validating them or authorizing her to do this. They're making a tape for him. He hasn't seen them perform like this. He's not ready to sign them to a deal. She walks right over, boom, I'm taking special personal interest in your career. And that's what I'm saying with Double Platinum. A very similar thing is that's what she's saying in the movie. That's what she's doing with the kid.
So, who is she?
I told you. I saw her in St. Louis, and she blew me away. And she reminds me of me when I was younger. I need to help her. I want to. Look, indulge me, Mark, okay? I want to do this.
It's all hers right there. He says instantly, who is she? Because he knows, okay, yeah, what's the gag? Who is she? Because I know he knows her, so he knows, oh, you didn't just pick some girl out of a club. That didn't happen. Who is he? So he knows instantly the right question to ask. Well, who is she? Who is she to you? What's going on? But she doesn't tell him the truth, She said, oh, I met him in a club and stuff. Say, all right, I'll play along with your stuff, whatever, if that's what you want. Because she's saying, I want to really do this. I want to really help that girl. The same kind of thing that would have been happening with like her and Berry Gordy and Michael Jackson. Diana Ross is saying, and then see how she said, I really like her. She reminds me of me when I was a kid. Just that's what she would have been with like Michael. Oh, you remind me of me and all this stuff. And that's exactly the very similarities of what was going on in the real life thing. This movie parallels the real life story of what I'm saying really happened. And it goes over and over. I could keep going on with this movie over and over and long. And then I could get into really deep things of what she says in this movie. It gets really, really crazy when they start saying she is my kid. And when the other people, it really gets crazy. So, but that's all I wanted to just show you right now, that this movie is layered with some crazy stuff that's like, whoa, what is going on with this? But it definitely parallels the story that I'm telling of Michael Jackson and being the lost child, the love child of Diana Ross and Smokey Robinson. And it's one of these things like that I keep saying is like all of this stuff was there. Like I didn't know about this movie when I started having the idea that Diana Ross was the mother. That's these big things. And see, I could prove that too, because when you go all the way back, I actually have older work. And in my first work that I was doing, I didn't talk about this at all because I didn't know anything about it. But then as soon as I did know, boom, I started talking about it. And because it was so obvious. Once I saw this, I was like, I can't believe she actually made a movie basically paralleling the same story in which I would have been investigating. And then in part of the investigation, I found this movie and it was like, whoa, you know, so it's really heavy. And so that's what I wanted to show you about this movie. It's serious. This is a movie that parallels the same story of what I'm telling. And why did that? And I was saying over and over and over, all this stuff. After I had the original thought that is Diana Ross, Michael's mom, then what do I go find? I find her talking about being in love with Smokey Robinson at the time of which she would have got pregnant. And it's unusual because Smokey's dating Claudette at that time, but she's talking about being there, you know, and Smokey's in the basement there, and she's, you know, and she's in love with him, you know, all the real evidence. Then you go to find out the stuff of how she really was all around making the Jacksons, trying to get them stars, helping the career all the time, helping Michael. You see through all that their relationship, but then she's calling him once they start hanging out. Then they moved to LA and the Jacksons are living, and Michael says that they would go out together alone over and over a period of a year and a half. And you've seen it in the videos where I have them at the one place, and she's there's Michael, there's my son, that's my child, right? And then he's sitting there alone in the audience. So it shows you that their relationship was like that, you know? And I didn't put that stuff there. That's just all the stuff that I found after everything of what you go through. And it just goes over on and on and on and on. And then I started understanding the songs. Like I said, then I understood Billie Jean. You know, I understood how you just need to take out the one part when you understand that Billie Jean is saying both of the lines that Billie Jean says, you are the one, but the kid is not my son. She says both to Michael, where it's not Michael. Once you just understand the simple fact that Michael does not say the kid is not my son, but the kid is not my son. It's Billie Jean is saying that line too. Once you just understand, see, because I understand the song, so I can understand and give you the key to show you how you. Here, you want the key to understanding the song? That is the key to the whole thing. You just need to know that Michael does not say, he doesn't actually say that. You guys have read it wrong. And as I keep saying, it's so easy to understand that once you just understand that it's being read wrong. Just from that interpretation, how not only is it being interpreted wrong, it's flat out being read wrong. It's not even written that way. It's so obvious to see once you see it my way. Like everything, all of the stuff with all the story that just goes on and on and on and on and on. I didn't put any of that stuff there. How am I able to? I can explain all these songs. You know, the song Shop Around. I didn't create that song, but when I went looking, see what I'm saying? Smokey Robinson was nowhere even near in my story. The Berry Gordy connection to Joe Jackson. I didn't create any, I didn't know anything about Berry Gordy knowing Joe Jackson. Now I've got a huge history with them being connected. I have a massive evidence of them being connected. I didn't create any of that stuff. That was all stuff I found after I had the original thought. That's all there is to it. I had the original thought, then I went looking, and all of this stuff, it was there because they put it there. It was just like nobody ever could see anything, but they did document enough. You know, it was one of those things like a treasure hunt, but then they left it, and all the pieces, all the breadcrumbs, they left them there. And I was the one. I was the one person that saw it. And I've collected all the pieces of evidence and all the breadcrumbs, and I put it all back together. And now you could really see who Michael Jackson actually is, the true story, you know? Okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye.